Who are you?
Gretchen Mead, and I'm the founder of the Victory Garden Initiative here in Milwaukee. I live in Shorewood, suburb north of Milwaukee.
Cool.
And we promote the use of our front yards, backyards, rooftops, patios for the production of food. And we do that through a gardening network, essentially, where we offer support and we do events in order to promote our message. Right now, the average bite of food in our country is shipped approximately 1,500 miles. We know that that's not a sustainable way to bring food to our table. It's not the long haul. It's not going to work out. I think we're going to need to, in order to sustain our lifestyles, we're going to need to grow food in every space that we can find. Right now, people don't really know how to grow their own food anymore. So it's the place to start, just by having a garden in your own yard or where you can, and it starts to decrease that dependence on our current industrial food system, and it's sort of the first stage, I think, in sustaining things.
Great. What would you say to a city dweller who oftentimes uses the excuse that they have nowhere that they can grow food?
There are a growing number of community gardens. Talk to your landlord. There's a lot of flat roofs. I know a friend of mine has a CSA that feeds 8 families on the top of his roof right here in Milwaukee. So this is it's becoming an option for everybody to find a place to grow their own food. If you don't have a community garden nearby, start a group of people who are interested and talk to the government officials in your neck of the woods, because they'll probably support you. There are a lot of empty lots that you can use in pretty much any city in the country. I believe 15% of city lots in the country on average are vacant. So there's a lot of potential in those spaces.
So you have roughly maybe 1/5, 1/4 of an acre here on your personal property. Can you tell me what you're doing exactly with the space that you have?
I'm using it as selectively as I can to grow as much food as I can. I use the food to feed my family, and I also have extra that I sell at the farmer's market on Saturdays, and if we have any extra after that, we donate it to the local food pantry. And I supply most of the food for my vegetables, which means organic matter, either from the organic matter that comes directly from the garden or my yard and my table scraps, or from coffee shops. So I also use it as sort of a organic materials recycling facility, if you will, a community compost. Because we're facing so many, really, I feel like we're at a critical juncture in human existence, in the next couple of decades. What do I believe in at the core? I guess a connection to the cycle of life. I'm just one little piece of so much more, and I want to do that respectfully. I want to do that in sort of an understanding, having an understanding of not being above other things, but being just part. And that feeds into food is a big part of that. I oftentimes, before I eat or if I pray at night, I sometimes will envision something that I ate that day and almost do a visual tracing back of what it was before, and then before that, and what it was before that. It just helps me feel at peace. I often when I think of overpopulation, I think of this metaphor that I read about once with bacteria in a bottle and how they just, eat up their food source and then they die. Water, I think, is the big issue we're facing. I mean, I'm very concerned about oil and how it affects the food system, but water is, it seems to be on the forefront. Milwaukee currently is, I think it's off the table, whatever that means. I think it maybe means more that it's under the table, but they've been talking about privatizing our water system here, which is very well run, and we have a great water system. We have inexpensive water, but it's very scary to think of corporations owning water, especially the Great Lakes. It's not going to be long before people are knocking on the door of 20% of the world's fresh water right here at the fingertips of Milwaukeeans. 20% of the world's fresh water.
Is there a message to America that you have?
Can I say my tagline?
Sure.
This is a grassroots movement. Move grass, grow food.